Hey, press play. Hey, this is Nate and Lyra, and this is tea time. Please join us. We'd love to see you. And we're talking about the balance in relationships between the masculine and feminine in creating a strong foundation for Earth SOUL Ministries. This is the ministry through which we have our multiple kaleidoscope of lenses that we are sharing with everybody. And we want you to join us in sharing this together because together is the way that we move forward and benefit the thriving of humanity. This weekend, we are going to be having a fundraiser event. Not fund, but fun! Like, let's have a little fun. And people will say, well, I'm too busy. I have too much on my plate right now to have any fun. And what I say to that is, do you remember when you were a child and you had fun and you also learned? You also became stronger and more empowered in your own expression and being of self? I do. And I also remember that everybody I was exposed to wanted to see me act older, act my age. What is that? So, to have an interpersonal exploration and evaluation of what it means to me in pursuing my passion, in being thriving in my life, and sharing that with others. You and I are more alike than you think. And even if we're masculine and feminine, bringing that balance together. How do we do that? If not for conversations like this.
A lot of patience and diligence.
And yet, it's like when I think about my core passion through Earth SOUL Ministries and what that means to me. This is not my mission. This is not his mission. This is the mission of empowering humanity to be in synchronicity with Earth, and how Earth is that nurturing force, that feminine nurturing force that we have forgotten is a part of us. Forgotten that we are a part of a greater being that is nurturing and compassionate and wants to see us thrive. Right, Nate?
Absolutely, as well as not being comfortable with perpetual failure and learning from all the wisdom and experiences that we have, um, accessibility to, just based off of where are you at and what do you know, how do I contribute to that so we don't continue to fail, to be unsuccessful, to have more people be successful on par, on average, so we don't continue to repeat our perpetual failures in humanity, which is just growth stages in life, essentially. Like, can we, through across generations, learn from our mistakes and stop repeating them so we can accomplish our goals, so we can manifest legacies that have not known in our own generation.
Looking at the seventh generation principle, what are the legacies you are referring to?
Essentially, any kind of advancement. If if we look at productivity and technology, for example, industry, most from from ideation, they get held back, they get followed up, and like you have to be let into the secreted knowledge within the small good old boy group. If you're not one of the 1 to 3% that has all that extra privilege and good old boyness, then you don't get to learn, partake, or make use of that betterment until at least 20 to 40 years later. And that's not helpful for anybody.
So when you say betterment, are you talking, what metrics are you talking?
Traction. Can you get forward? Can you, if you know about a hammer being available, or a hammer has been designed and made use of, and only certain people of a small group have access to it, and you are held off, stuck using your hands or um, rocks to do the job of a hammer for 20 to 40 years or a couple hundred years. How do you feel about that? I'm not good with that. I want immediate access or reasonable access within a reasonable amount of time to make my life better. And it's not just about me, because I think about a lot of other people other than me. What about my family? If a hammer helps improve quality, productivity, serenity, peace of mind, and security in what you're doing or trying to accomplish, then why the fuck are you going to be okay with it being held off for so long?
And so you would say that some of the would you say that some of the advancements that humanity is being denied or are being denied are available to a select few?
Absolutely. There's technology out there, all kinds of stuff that people aren't aware of or may not conceive of until we get to that day when it's finally released, which is like a few decades from now. I watched it happen in my lifetime when I was in the military, just in boot camp. We had stuff that was, we were trained on things that were 40 plus years old, yet we had to have secret clearance. Like, that's ridiculous.
Now you're entering into the ancient alien theory.
No,
Oh, it's not a
no.
theory. That's right.
We had weapons for that were available and in use during Vietnam.
That were denied.
Right now I'm talking about the exact opposite, where why in the world would you continue to use or train anyone on old technology that isn't currently applicable and very minimally applicable to what your next level of education or application might employ? Like, okay, in a school for being a gunner's mate, you need to get secret clearance and everything just to access this old prehistoric technology and learn about it. And then eventually, like a year or two later, you might get to something 10 years old or 5 years old. it makes sense to a degree, a very small degree for security. For the sake of security, you don't want people to know what you're currently up to. At the same time, when you're training people, you don't want them training on old stuff other than just getting acclimated to things. And that's not the case. That was not what I experienced. That was not the scenario. You were supposed to have extreme proficiency in these certain areas pertaining to things that were like 40 years old.
And I'm sure that you cannot hear this right now because there's a jet plane. We are south of Nellis Air Force Base, and every single day, this is our reality. We are hearing high impact volume from technology through from the Air Force Base. Okay, so we're talking about technology that is being in use right now that you would say is not actively in use. It's in testing or
What's implemented on the general public right now, as well as overseas, is like the secret technology of the future, right? It's stuff you don't get to hear about until 40 plus years later. So there are hypersonic weapons, blah blah blah, chemical weapons that are implemented and tested on people within the homeland as well as overseas. So, and that as a fact negates the status quo of saying what's going on, being like, oh well, we're just protecting our people and we don't harm our own, which is unlawful according to our own constitution. You don't experiment on your own people, but since illegitimate, malicious individuals were allowed to get involved in this government, which I don't think is anything new across the board. I think this is a very common scenario all across the board because corruption is prevalent. It's part of human nature. We always degrade over time, and that's what weak people do. They they give up and don't use their resiliency and coping skills and mechanisms to stand up for what's right on a consistent enough basis to keep everybody straight and safe. For a legacy, I want my children and my grandchildren to never have to go through the tragedies that were 100% avoidable before I was even born.
had the technology and information been available to the common people. We're common people. What does that mean? Common. We are the majority. That that's all that means. But you are unique. You are unique. We are a people, a humanity struggling against a select few that have chosen to look at us all as children that they need to manage. So the information is spoon fed to us as if we don't have the sense making skills and the cognition to be able to translate it. And they did this intentionally. Would you like to have anything else to say prior to us closing this tea party?
No, I'll pass. If I say any more, I'll get more on top of the podium, and I'd rather not do that right now.
And so this is Tea with Nate and Lyra, and we'd love to see you this Saturday. We will be having a tea party at the north end of Las Vegas. Be sure to look at the information below this video and click on the links to register. Thank you so much. Have a great day. Bye.